So when Oneil Cruz made his 2022 debut, he set a record for the fastest throw by an infielder in StatCast history, and yesterday he broke his own record, almost 98 miles an hour on this throw. This kid is a human cheat code. What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today, so I'm not going to waste any time. Freddie Freeman has only gotten out like 3 times over the last 7 or 8 games. The Yankees, unfortunately, have been playing their worst baseball, but it's nice to get it out now as opposed to in September. And Tristan McKenzie, he looked like prime Corey Kluber yesterday against the Tigers. Real quick, before we talk about the breaking stories from yesterday, remember, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself $20 off. Look at this. This is the final bracket for the 2022 Home Run Derby. There are some new faces in there. I was hoping that Giancarlo Stanton was going to be in it, considering the Yankees broadcaster said he was going to be in it, but I'm cool with Corey Seager, so let me know, who do you think is going to win? I have some of the best news of the year. Fernando Tatis Jr. recently had another checkup on his wrist, and the x-rays came back that he is ready to start swinging. He's going to be back on the Padres in the next 2 or 3 weeks. He has to get some swings under his belt, but remember, he's a top 5 player in baseball when healthy, one of the faces of baseball. And remember this swing, he hit a ball completely out of Dodger Stadium. I think only 4 guys have ever done that before. Now, one other breaking story, which is kind of funny because I almost hinted at it yesterday. I said I was starting to come around to the idea of expanded playoffs because a team like the Marlins could call it Max Meyer and go off. Well, he got called up an hour later. The 23-year-old flamethrower was drafted 3rd overall back in 2020. He's going to be making his debut pretty soon, and the Marlins, you know, let's just go ahead and talk about them right now. So that is my phone. Sorry, you did not just get a text message. The Marlins walked it off in the game before this. Let's see if they can make it back-to-back. Rookie Braxton Garrett was out of his mind, striking out 11 in 6 innings. So the Marlins just have pitchers for days. He allows 2 base hits in those same 6 innings. Unfortunately, though, the bullpen does allow a run, so the Marlins are going to have to try and walk it off. Brian Anderson, he triples to the gap. He brings home 2, and the Marlins are now just 2 games away from being 500. Now, one more thing I do want to talk about. So Oneil Cruz not only made history with that throw, but he knocked out someone's teeth. Meyer, I don't know if it was, I mean, a lot of people were pointing at the fact that he tapped Oneil Cruz in the cup area, but look at this. A tooth fell out of his face. How do you not feel bad for Meyer? All right, let's go ahead and talk about the rest of the games from yesterday. The Royals are going to be without some of their key contributors thanks to the Canadian laws. So let's see if they can slay the dragon, as 5 different players were making their debut. Kansas City was tasked with facing Kevin Gausman, so there's almost no way that they can win, right? Well, look at that. Oliveira singles home Nicky Lopez, and Bobby Witt Jr. gets his hands through the zone with such ease. He connects with his 13th home run of the year. He's hitting .315 with 5 stolen bases over his last 13 games. Angel Zerpa, he was as good as he could be, allowing 1 earned run over 5 innings, and the Kansas City bullpen, they held their own. Toronto was held scoreless over the final 4 innings, and before Scott Barlow got the save, I want to show Nate Eaton hitting his first big league home run, and as he was rounding second base, he said that he heard his mom yelling, so she was sitting front row. A really cool moment. Scott Barlow closes it out, and Kansas City gets one of the more improbable wins of the entire 22 first half. Now, this next one, you could not put the word improbable to it at all, because this might have been the easiest win of the year for the Mets. Francisco Lindor now has a whopping 65 RBIs, even with the highest K rate of his career. He has a 113 OPS plus, which is still above average. Patrick Mazeika clutches up. He does that every 3 or 4 weeks, and Starling Marte is starting to have a very impressive career resume. I just wish that he was never suspended for, you know, roids and everything like that, but he's approaching 40 career WAR. Escobar drives in another. Nimmo blasts one almost 440 feet, and Cookie was brilliant. 6 strikeouts and 6 shutout innings. He is looking so much better in the month of July. I think he has 3 earned runs and 19 strikeouts in 17 innings. Pete Alonso hit a 2-run tater for his 130th career home run, and it only took him 1,600 at-bats. And one small little note I want to make, Trevor Williams, he gets credited with the save, even though his team won by 8, so I guess if you throw 8 innings, you will get the save. Dansby Swanson is 28 years old, and if he plays like this over the next 5 or 6 years, he could catapult himself into a serious case for the Hall of Fame. Like, he's never going to get close to 3,000 base hits, but he's an extra base machine. He almost has 15 stolen bases, and he's a very good defensive shortstop, so you have to put him in the category for 5-tool shortstops in baseball. Now, speaking of 5-tool, look at Michael Harris. He is the textbook definition as he flexes the power. He has 8 home runs and 7 stolen bases, so there's the speed. Look at this seed to home. I thought no way in heck he's ever going to make this throw, but I didn't realize he had an arm like that. He has 7 outs above average in 45 games. That is a historic pace. This guy is stupid. Matt Olson now has 16 home runs, and Kyle Wright was fantastic. He only walked 1 in 7 innings. Jansen came back. He did allow a home run, but he now has 21 saves, and Kyle Wright has 11 wins. So he's tied for first place with, I think, Tony Gonsolin and Justin Verlander. Luis Castillo, he just showed that he is not afraid of the bright lights, and he maybe auditioned for his future team. He carved up the Yankees 8 times in 7 innings. He allowed just 1 run. He might be the nastiest starting pitcher. I'm talking about just pure stuff. His changeup, his sinker, everything about him is nasty. He's an all-star again. He's a 2-time all-star. Votto and Kyle Farmer, they both knocked in some runs, and Farmer got 2 on 1 single swing off of Johnny Lasagna. But Judge and the Yankees fight back. That is 31 home runs for Aaron Judge. He's been scuffling lately. He has a 167 batting average over the last week, but every MVP struggles. You can't play a perfect 162 out of 162. Glaber ties it up on a 2-run Oppo Taco, but the Reds pounced on the Yankees in the 10th as Votto, Stevenson, they both double in a run, and Solano drives in the 7th, which is huge because Matt Carpenter, he sent one 400 feet to bring it within 1. But the Reds do end up closing it out, and Yankees Twitter, they are just excited for the All-Star break and to move on to the second half. One of the most exciting pitching matchups of the year, Corbin Burnes versus Carlos Rodon. The Giants got 2 in the 3rd, but only one of those was an earned run. Now, speaking of earned run, there's the only one that Carlos allowed to the Brewers. He goes 5 with 7 punch-outs, lowers his ERA to 2.66, and Corbin Burnes got stronger as the game progressed. He avoids the L after Adames ties it up at 2 runs apiece, and Burnes ended up throwing nearly 120 pitches, striking out 10. I mean, he's starting to not make sense. Over his last 350 innings, he has 466 strikeouts and a 2.27 ERA. That is essentially prime Pedro Martinez stuff. And by the way, Devin Williams, he notched his 6th save of the year. He has not allowed a run in 26 consecutive innings. So in this next one, all the Dodgers needed was 1 run, and there it is. Justin Turner singles home Freddie Freeman. And by the way, we have to talk about Freddie because his stats have been stupid lately. They get one, sorry, just knocked my mic. They get 1 more run in the 6th, courtesy of Will Smith, but again, they only needed 1 because Tyler Anderson was nearly unhittable again. The 702 product, I forget that he's from Spring Valley, a high school down the street. 4 strikeouts and 6 shutout innings. He has a shocking 2.92 ERA. Gavin Lux is also breaking out just like Tyler Anderson, but I feel like we expected this to happen. He has an insane 373 on base percentage, and speaking of insane OBP, Freddie is 13 for his last 16. You heard that right. He has a base hit in 13 of his last 16 at-bats. Now, real quick before we move on to the next game, 5 years ago today, Cody B became the first Dodgers rookie ever to hit for the cycle. I really miss Cody Bellinger. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the other games. Both starters got roughed up for 5 earned runs. I mean, Kyle Freeland was out here pulling a Brett Gardner on steroids because not only was he smashing the roof with a bat, but he got through the roof. The Rockies got 2 in the 2nd on a Grichuk double, and then 2 more in the 4th on some awful pitching. Iglesias and Bryant, they both take walks with the bases loaded. In San Diego, they fought back to tie it up, only to have the Rockies rip it right back open. Iglesias doubles in Connor Joe. CJ Cron drives in his 68th RBI, and Grichuk came away with a 3 RBI day as Carlos Estevez, he came in and notched his first save of the year. I'm telling you guys, the Rockies are built different against the Dodgers and the Padres. This next one was kind of close. We have the Astros taking on the Angels again in Anaheim. You know what? Let's just skip to who won. So we head to the 10th inning. Yes, all the way to the 10th. It was a tie game where Rookie of the Year candidate Jeremy Pena was able to clutch up and give his team the lead. I mean, it's not fair to go from Carlos Correa to Jeremy Pena, who has a 120 WRC plus and 9 DRS. I mean, the kid is just not fair. Ryan Presley gets the W this time because he tossed 2 shutout in relief. He struck out 3 in the process. The Astros are 58-30, and to me, I actually think they're the best team in baseball. Now, the Angels are definitely not because they have the worst OPS in Major League Baseball in the month of July, a 540 team OPS that is easily the worst. Now, another AL West team I want to talk about, the Rangers do not want to be in the headlines if they end up losing because that will make 11 wins in a row for the Mariners. They jumped out to a 4-0 lead, and you almost just have to expect stuff like this to happen when everything is going right for the Mariners. It keeps on going right. Proof. Yeah, there's Sam Haggerty with a free inside the park home run. Eugenio Suarez has been a man amongst boys with runners in scoring position. 33 RBIs and an almost 900 OPS after that 2-run single. J-Rod got hit by a pitch to make it a 1-run game, and the All-Star snub, Ty France, plays hero ball. His 2-run single gives the Mariners a lead, and Diego Castillo was nails in the 9th inning. So yes, that is 11 wins in a row for the Mariners. So that's a scary sentence. The Mariners have won 11 in a row. Another scary situation is happening with the White Sox because they're really looking like prime White Sox lately. Giolito and Cease, they both had great starts, and now the offense is clicking. Abreu and Vaughn, they both single in some runs, and yeah, this next one ain't a single. Luis Robert is a human cheat code. He's hitting .320 over the last 2 seasons with a 141 WRC plus. That grand slam went 455 feet, and then he's not done. There's an RBI single to bring in Tim Anderson. Cueto looked like vintage Cueto, striking out 5 over 6 straight innings. Vaughn has been a godsend, 41 RBIs. He's played 5 different positions. Sebi Zavala, he's back with the power. If you don't remember last year, he had his first career 3 home runs in 1 single game. He belted his second of the year, and he's hitting .303 in 24 games. Yeah, that was a statement game against the first place Twins. Watch out for the White Sox. Speaking of statement games, I can make the same argument for the Cleveland Guardians yesterday. They are looking for payback after they got swept by the Tigers. The offense finally showed up in this one. Josh Naylor hit one, a quarter mile. That's 12 home runs and a 132 WRC plus. He is breaking out. J-Ram and Andres, they get 2 huge RBIs on a few base hits. They have both been a little bit slow as of late, so it's nice to see them turn it up a little bit. Tristan McKenzie, he's not an all-star, but I feel like he's going to be a multi-time all-star. Look at this. The kid was getting his fastball up to 96th on pitch 104, 105. This guy was absolutely incredible. He struck out a career-high 12, including Riley Green 4 separate times over 8 shutout innings. I can't wait to see this team in 2023 also. I forgot to mention that I think Andres Jimenez hit a home run, so there you go. And last but not least, the Red Sox can't blow another game against the Tampa Bay Rays, right? Okay, so Cutter Crawford and the Red Sox lineup made easy work of the Rays. Just as soon as Cutter left the game, it was like sharks smelling blood. Josh Lowe has been very productive, which is huge because the Rays are losing players left and right. Taylor Walls has a single to left for a soul-crushing 2-run double. And if you couldn't get crushed enough, Boston gets their heart stomped on again by a 2-run single from Yandy Diaz, who has been a machine this year. Jalen Beeks does allow a run, but he just wanted to make it interesting. The Rays have won 4 in a row, and they lead the season series against the Red Sox 8 games to 2. All right, everyone, well, that is going to do it for today's recap. This is probably the final recap until next week because I will be going to All-Star Weekend. I cannot wait to bring you guys a bunch of vlogs. I'm going to be at a softball game with a guy named Dodger Films. You guys have probably heard of him. I cannot wait for that. I'll be at the Derby. I'll be at the All-Star game. A lot of fun content is coming. I'll catch you guys there. Enjoy the web gems.
That is caught by Max Muncy. A top-spinning, sinking line drive that Muncy grabs.
For the Dodgers, Max Muncy catches this one. A little slide behind it.
Stay in. Right field. Nolan Jones, a long run over into foul ground. Made the catch into the netting. Hangs on to retire the side.
Left center field. Yaz still going. Leaps and makes the catch. 2 men left. Perhaps the final pitch thrown tonight.
Kirk lines it. Talk about Prado's hands. How about that?
Ready position. Short hop. Picked it with no problem.
Lofted into center field. Coming on is Judge. Dives and makes the play.
This play. But he looked over to Votto. Here I go again, Michael. Looked over to Gallo and said
1-1. In the air left field. A.J. Pollock. Urshela at third, tags. Throw coming to the plate, and he is out at the dish.
To me, I think the leg is in there, but apparently he got him on the leg before the...
Hernandez shoots one toward left. Rosario got a good jump near the line. He slides and makes a great catch in foul ground.
Up the middle. Xander tested. He'll spin. Fire. Oh, nice play to get him.
And with a foot first slide, which is ridiculous.
No sense.
Slowed him down. I think Bogarts was going to have it.
Carlson by Freeman. Heads for second. Betts guns that way.